the home of our dream. I really enjoyed working with Nagaraj.
Nagaraj helped us the whole process from beginning pre-qualified loan approval process to the offer accepted, and also he gave us the right contractor information for the home improvements.
I was able to get a good home at a good price in the location I'm looking for. I recommend Nagaraj Annaya.
I definitely recommend Nagaraj to any home buyers.
Nagaraj Annaya, the one-stop shop for all real estate needs. Call him today for free consultation at 408-805-4653 or visit nagarajhomes.com. You're listening to Real Estate Roundup. Real Estate Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Volley 92.3 FM.
The key to happiness could well be the key to the right home. And helping land the key to happiness and to your dream home is none other than Nagaraj Annaya, founder of nagarajhomes.com. Namaskar, Beria. I'm Vijay Lakshmi, back with another fabulous edition of Real Estate Roundup, your one-stop shop for all things real estate. And if you are looking basically to buy, sell, finance, refinance your home, or maybe get into investing as a prospect, your search stops here. You need to check out nagarajhomes.com to get started on your journey to becoming a happy and successful homeowner. And so as I get talking to Nagaraj, the segment, we welcome your participation. What's been your experience with real estate? We'd love to know. And if you'd like to have some well-considered advice on navigating this very challenging market from Nagaraj, our subject matter expert, you are free to call in and join us in this conversation. We are live on Volley 92.3 FM and studio lines are now open. You can reach us at 408-912-5038. That number 408-912-5038. And we are also live on YouTube on Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel. You can find us there, put your questions down in the comment section, and we'll be happy to take it from there. So keep calling with those questions while I get started talking to Nagaraj. Again, the number to do that, 408-912-5038. Hello, Nagaraj. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Namaskar.
Hello, Vijay Lakshmi. Happy Sunday and namaste to all the Bay Area listeners out there.
Yes. And of course, a break in the weather. So
hot,
good time. It's hot. And yeah.
I think it's hot and sunny out there right now today.
Yes. Back to the old Bay Area that we know.
Yeah.
So
when it's raining, we prefer the old weather, but when it's sun out there, we prefer the rain out there.
Yes, that's right. So, weather is looking good, but of course, the brutal layoffs continue their stunning frenzy. And now it's Google and Twitter. And I read somewhere that San Francisco Bay Area prices are plunging 30% from the crazy peak, basically hammered by the waves of layoffs and then the falling stocks and the collapsing crypto and, the mortgage rates at 6%. So what's been your view on this bird's eye view? Are you experiencing any of this?
I think I can't hold to express it. Okay? I think whatever you read, that was the start of the January.
Yeah.
But it is now January 22nd. Let me give you one realistic data what happened. Okay, so that should be good enough. So there was one house listed for 1 million in Dublin. Okay, we got 59 offers in total.
59.
59 offers in a total.
Less
than 1 million, there were 2 offers. Let me give you the breakdown of the 59 offers. Okay, less than 1 million, 2 offers. 1 million to 1.099, 6 offers. 1.1 to 2 million, 18 offers. 1.2 to 1.299, 15 offers. 1.3 million to 1.399, 11 offers. 1.4 is like more than 1.4 is 6 offers.
Wow.
Okay, finally house got sold for 1.44 million. So how many offers were there? 59.
Yeah.
And it sold for more than 440K. This should be good enough. People, after the new year, things have changed now.
Yeah.
Okay. We are looking, buyers are like basically, okay, the rates will be there, still I need to buy the house. That will not change.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm.
So for the Bay Area, you still need the livelihood to stay.
Yes,
Right?
very true.
And always the inventory is so less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was shocked that it was more than it was sold for 450. That's only in Dublin.
Yeah.
One more house, let me give you a townhouse listed for 1.18
Mm-hmm.
in Santa Clara. 3-bed, close to 1,600 square feet, sold for more than 55K.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a townhouse.
Yeah.
One more single family home in Fremont, listed for 1.68.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for more than 60K than the list price. That's all happened in the last week. I just go based on the data. I don't go anything on that, because I know I am right now, I see what's happening in the market.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
So you
Let's
can't
give out the number
argue
today.
the data, right? Let's give out the number. You heard those stunning statistics right here, the data. And basically that's a green signal to keep, if you're looking for a house, this is the time to do it. So keep at it. And of course, if you have any questions, suggestions, or you'd like a little bit of advice, a little bit of hand holding on which way to go, then now's the time to call us to talk to Nagaraj. And the number in the studio is 408-912-5038, 408-912-5038, and also live on YouTube. If you go on to Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel, you'll catch us there live right now. So you can see us, give us a shout out there, and put your question there as well in the comments section. So we'd love to hear from you. Again, this is a community participation, and if you have anything on your mind real estate wise, you bet there are 1,000 other people who have that same thought, and you'd be doing others a favor too by voicing your question in the community. So go ahead and do that, 408-912-5038, and check out nagarajhomes.com. Yes, Nagaraj.
Any questions, do call out. So it's basically helping each out there. Okay. And this 450K, if you ask me, is it more price?
Yeah.
Compared to last year, the same houses were selling for 1.65, the Dublin house.
Oh, okay.
So if you compare it, it is like 12% more or less, 12% lesser, right?
Yeah.
So it's a right time for the buyer out there if they want to buy the house.
Yeah.
Because it's still the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So as going forward more, just today morning, I got a call in one of the client, Nagaraj, is it a right time to buy now, or should I wait until June?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I told them that June, there will be a lot of buyers out there. Just one example, in this 56 or 59 offers, only one buyer got. So still 58 buyers are still looking for their homes.
Yeah.
Okay. There are like more than 16 or like 6 people or like 6 buyers or more than 1.4 qualified buyers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or 19 buyers, more than 1.3 is there.
Wow.
That's the data, how you analyze it, right? Like if you think after June it will reduce, but in the after June, there's again the school set of buyers who's looking for a school and they want to change. That is where the more set of buyers will jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
If you are just got married and you don't require a school right now as a preference, it's a right time to buy for it.
Yes, this is the right time. And again, if you're in the market for your first home, or you're looking to, upgrade your home at any time or downscale, either way, nagarajhomes.com is where you want to be. Nagaraj Annaya has been a veteran, realtor in the market, and he has a tech background as well. So he knows where you're coming from. He has a pulse on the Bay Area market. And not only is he a realtor, but he's also a mortgage broker. So he can give you that side of the perspective on mortgage as well. And
I think good you told me mortgage consultant, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me give you the news about the mortgage. As soon as you said a mortgage consultant, I have a few things to say. Like this is like this week or like last week, there was a Wells Fargo said like they're moving out from the residential loans, right? Like they just want to do a few loans. But good thing is like other lenders started jumping in now. Okay, Citi's last week, Citi is an international bank, and what I heard from the Citi is like they want to do a more business in the US.
Yeah.
Last week their rates were very reasonable when compared to other lenders, what I got it. So it was like Citi is like with a 15% down. They didn't have a PMI option, and it was used close to a 5.125 for a condos purchase if it's in a single family home.
Yeah.
Right? So their rates were very good, 4.875.
Yes.
Okay? And if you set up an account in them, they're giving out to a 4.75.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and if you have more equity and you're moving a lot of equity among to the city, I think the rates, if you're close to moving to 300K, I think the rates are like close to a 4.5, right? The rates were fluctuating some 4.5 to a 5.25, depending on the qualifications you have.
Yeah.
Or how much down you are going to happen. Each scenario is different. That scenario should be basically run through a qualified lender, and they give out the rates. Okay, and there is like one more like APR also. Like it is like all of these rates are like basically 7-1 rates or like a 10-1 rates.
10-1 arm and 7-1
arm rates, right? So if you have any questions, do give me a call. Based on your scenarios, we can go for the different lenders. Okay, so I'm just a mortgage consultant. I don't do a mortgage broker. Like I'm based on your qualifications, I help them to shop for a good lenders for them.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So if mortgage is keeping you from taking that step into real estate, you could have that guidance from
yes, because when you're buying in a house, it is not only about where you want to buy. First is you need to understand how much you can afford, right? Because if you don't understand how much you can afford, you can't shortlist the areas where you can buy. Okay.
Correct.
If you're doing a 10% down, there are a lot of other options. Like one is a ELOC option, where it is like you will be paying an interest only for the next remaining 10%, or like you can go with a PMI option also, private mortgage insurance, right? So based on your, like some lenders, as I said, like Citi, is more than 15% they waive the PMI also.
Yeah, that's right. So there are options available.
There are a lot of options.
Yeah.
I see the rates are good last week as compared to last year. I think 5.25 to a 4.875. It's a very good rate depending on how the fluctuations is happening.
Right.
That's why I see that a lot of home buyers out there right now looking, they think this is the right time to buy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So if you have a little bit of conflict of, to go or to stop or to, whether the signal is green or yellow or red for you, and you want to talk that out with a pro, that's Nagaraj Anaya right here. You can call us at 408-912-5038 to talk to him. And of course, you can always check out nagarajhomes.com and also catch him there. And if they have questions, again, 408-912-5038, also live on Facebook. So you can catch us there. So whatever's on your mind, real estate wise, whether that's buying, selling, investing, or financing, refinancing, whatever it is, Nagaraj can offer you his perspective and help you clarify whatever's on your mind. And talking of buying a house, Nagaraj, the question that really comes up is if there's a government lien on the title, right? So how does that work?
I think it's a great question. I see a lot of when you're buying the house, we don't check. It's always the escrow company checks for the title. They give you a title.
Yeah.
Okay, so when there's any lien on the government lien, right? The government lien can be, for example, building code violations. Okay. So recently there was one of the client was buying a house in San Jose. When they were buying a house, then there was a lien basically given by the San Jose County. Okay, some illegal garage construction or some patio construction. The lien was put 20 years back.
Okay.
Okay, but the seller wants to sell a house now. But when you're going with a regular, basically when you're going with the regular loans, it would be very difficult to qualify for that one. Okay, the city will remove the violations or only when you fix that. For example, it might be illegal garage construction, or it might be illegal patio, or whatever it may be, right? To remove that, it might take 6 months, because you need to work with the city. Whatever the issue is there, you need to address. All right. So in that case, if you're looking for a buyer, it would be very difficult for it. As a seller, what they need to be doing is, like, if they have any government liens like this, or it might be any city violations is there reported in your report, right? So what you need to be doing is, as a seller, you need to be fixing it.
Okay.
If we
the government liens you're talking about.
The government liens, right? Or like the building code violations.
Yeah.
The government liens also, there might be a lot of other stuff, but I'm just talking about the building code violations. So the seller, if they see in their title, if some violations are there, I would suggest to go and work with the city and fix it. Or they need to look for the buyers only with the cash only buyers, or like hard money lenders, the buyers. Okay. They can't shortlist any buyers, because if they're going with a conventional loans or a regular loans, the lenders might not be able to give the lien on the property, because already government liens are on the priority there. If at any time, if the property goes for the sale, or like if the borrower doesn't pay for it, if it goes for the court, so the lender can't have an upper hand there. Correct. Right. So always the regular mortgage lenders, right, they don't want to do this kind of, because it's a higher risk for them.
Yes.
Right. As a seller, there's only two options for them. One is fix if any code violations, or when if they want to sell with this, they can't get a good price for this property for sure, because the number of buyers who can basically go for it are less. But when they shortlist the buyers also, right, they can't qualify all the buyers. It's there only two kinds of buyers, like only cash only buyers, or my buyers who's coming with hard cash, or like hard money. Right. So hard money loans are like, how it works is like, basically they'll be paying a higher interest rate, and to get a qualify for the loans also, they need to be paying upfront a 2% or a 3% of the loans.
Okay.
So it would be tough. So as the seller, if you have any liens like this, do watch out before listing. Work with your agent to know if like this, so that they can get the title and make sure everything is clean on it. As a buyer, you should make sure putting an offer, there are no liens on the property. Because if you go with a zero contingencies and you stuck with this, then it's a trouble for you.
Wow. Okay, that's great information right there. So folks, have you experienced any of this, and are you having a problem with it, with building code violations or with liens on the property, then give us a call on that or any other aspect of real estate on the Bay Area Real Estate Release. 408-912-5038 is the number in the studios, 408-912-5038, and also live on YouTube, on Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel. And as I repeatedly say, Nagaraj Homes is your first stop and only stop really on your real estate journey. So we're always talking mostly, Nagaraj, about buying homes, but it's a good time to tell folks that you are, specializing in selling a home as well. Right.
I think that was the reason I was talking about, when you're selling, what you need to watch out for, right?
Yeah.
So when you're selling, the few things you need to look for. One is, look for this, if there is any liens which is unknown to you, for example, this kind of the liens. You should be knowing it, but still, if something which is gone unnoticed from you, make sure you look at the title and make sure there are no liens on the properties, like any kind of a government liens or whatever the other kinds of liens on the property. Even the contractors can also put a lien on the properties. Okay. So if you're unpaid something to the contractors, right, they can also go out of it. And there are different kinds of the liens. Each liens has a priority, one after the other. So make sure on that. And the second thing is, like, as a seller, if you want to list a property for sale, make sure you do the inspections of the property. And if you have a more time, do try to address the all the inspections concerns. it comes down to what kind of a reports you get, right? For example, you get a more of a termite ones, right? Like in case of a termite, it's a more of a section 1 termite needs to be addressed, or a kind of a fumigation needs to be addressed, right? If you have a time and if you have a money for that, just go for it instead of relying on the buyers to do it. Because when you try to do it, the market is kind of changed, where like the buyers expects everything needs to be basically addressed before they're taking it. Okay, whatever the 3 things I discussed in the earlier of this show, right? Like whatever the 3 houses which sold for the higher price, all the 3 houses were at the schools, good homes, good neighborhood. So wherever the 3 stuffs like outstand, like for example, house is at very good looking, right? So then it is automatically it sells by itself, but you are expecting to find a buyer to address it, then it becomes difficult for you to sell.
So the seller should basically be planning, doing the inspection.
It would be better in this market. So always before selling, the buyers needs to know what are the issues in the house, so that they can make a judgment or they can make an informed decision, should they go for it and how much more they can, or like how much is the value of the house in this current scenario.
I see.
Because if you have a 10 homes in that neighborhood, this house is like has some issues, let's assume, right? Like then always you expect, like for example, that house to sell for less. Let's take an example of the houses in Santa Clara right now. It's only few inventories are there. If you see some of the homes which has been not being sold, there are like only for 2 reasons. One is it might be house might be next to the expressway, or it might be next to the busy street, or it has some issues with the inspections. Okay, when it has some issues with the inspections, as a seller, they can only look out for the basically investors who can take it and address it. Right, so that's why you need to watch out for the things as a seller. Like basically, if the house, like especially if your house belongs in somewhere in the South Bay, I think this house like more on the East Bay is more of a new homes, so you don't, unless
have
like
that problem.
Unless in the Livermore, like I think there was let me give you an example. Last year was a good time for the flippers. Like they take a house, remodel it and sell it, right? So last year, somewhere in March, April was a good time. They bought a house for 760, 780K. They addressed it for 100K, 150K and tried to sell it in this market. They listed the house for 1.25 million. Okay, in the Livermore, but they're not able to sell it right now. Because it is like more right now, right? Like because it is like right now the Livermore market, the prices have dropped. Not all homes are selling for the higher price. So that's why you need to watch out for the flippers, like especially wants to buy and sell. They need to invest in the right neighborhood. As the buyers also, when they're trying to sell it, or when they're trying to buy, they need to look for the right neighborhood. Okay, there are, I think as I discussed earlier also, there is one more. For example, as a buyer, if you want to take a house and to remodel it before you move in, there's a remodel loan options also is available. And if there's a buyer and you're interested to know how this remodel loan works for you when you're buying a house, do give me a call and I can give you more detail into it, how the remodel loans works basically. So how does it works is like the borrower, like lender, for example, the house is listed for 1 million and you need a 150K of an upgrades. When during basically the lender looks at it and they give them the loan of 1 point, or basically they evaluate the purchase price to be 1.15 and they expect you to do a 10% down and you can get in 150K for fixing up the house also. Okay. If you're not finding a home rightly, whatever you are liking it, you can go for this route also. But only thing is, this route is the time. Do you have the time to fix it? Do you have a time to address it? As a buyer, you are like busy in your tech world. Right? You need to spend 3 months or 6 months overlooking all this. For me, the time is the money. That is where you need to find an expert who can help you to get in a house which suits your needs.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hone in on your dream home.
True. So because if you buy a house, you don't have a time to fix it, you're going to impact your tech world or other job,
Yes,
whatever you're working in. For
that's
you,
right.
your thing is like whatever you're working in. Don't think like it's easy to fix it and then you can stay, because it's a time always.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Very true.
remodeling goes to the extent how much you need to work with the city, right? Like for example, that needs to be extra, house needs to be extended, or house needs to be like, for example, kitchen, bathroom. If you want to do the right thing at the right time or a right way, it's always takes a time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have
Because
to
city
invest
comes,
the time in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
city comes and inspects at the every stage of when you're remodeling. Okay, it might be a rough plumbing, rough electrical stage. You need somebody to come and inspect the house at the right time, so that when the contractor does the work, it does it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's
Very
always
true.
a time. That's how the time goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are running out of the time, but if you are interested to know how this remodeling loan works, do give me a call and I can give you in detail about how the remodeling loan works. I think
Yes.
going back to our original question, there's the sellers needs to do the inspection. Yes, they need to do the inspection before they sell the house.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. And again, it's a good time to let you all know that go on to nagarajhomes.com. You can get a custom evaluation if you're trying to sell your home and you want to know what your home is really worth. There's a custom evaluation report that's instant and that you can get right there. And that really compares homes that have recently been sold or are on the market. And, the most accurate information that you're looking for. And like Nagraj mentioned, any questions that you have between now and the next time we meet, the next
Yes.
Sunday, you can always call him, and his number is 408-805-4653. That's 408-805-4653. And of course, be sure to check out nagrajhomes.com. Thank you, Nagraj. Another excellent, very impactful session. So thank you so much for all that you do for the community.
Thank you so much, and happy Sunday to all the listener out there.
On that note, this is Vijay Lakshmi. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to having you next Sunday as well, 12:30 to 1 p.m. only on Bolly 92.3 FM and on YouTube. So make sure you make a date with us then. And until then, happy Sunday. Until next time, namaskar.